Hello, 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 everyone here at Stormy's World. I'm sorry, my eyes got blurry all of a sudden. As you can see, these are not my normal glasses. These are my previous prescriptions from 4 or 5 years ago that I just got replaced this year in March. And lo and behold, I can't remember what day, maybe Wednesday? I think Wednesday, I went to Walmart's. No, Tuesday. Tuesday, I went to Walmart's. And I was out getting me some cooking utensils so that I could cook meals because I am really tired of microwave food, tired of having to order out and not being able to cook since my stove's been out. Well, I went to Walmart's, which I hate going to Walmart's because number one, they don't have enough handicapped parking spots. Number two, they're always crowded with crazy people in there. And number three, I can never find what I really want easily enough. And as it is, I wanted something and it was on the very, very top shelf. So I ended up having to just settle because I could not find anybody to help me get what I really wanted off the top shelf. So I just settled for what I could, reach myself. So I ended up with a 2-plate burner, electric burner. And I ended up getting me a small crock pot, not a round one, but an oval shaped 4-quart for making my beans, because that's what I was hunting for, a round crock pot to cook my beans. And I ended up with a 4-quart oval one because I couldn't reach the only round one that they had on the very, very top shelf. So it's okay, guys. It is what it is, right? It cooked my beans and it cooked them good. So I'm not going to complain about my little oval shaped slow cooker crock pot because now I have two of them, a 4-quart and an 8-quart one. So that's okay. Anyways, coming out of Walmart's after getting that, a set of 2 saucepans, one the big one with the lid, the little one not, and a set of 3 skillets to use on my new cookware utensils, appliances, whatever you want to call them. Anyways, what I did, guys, was I was coming out to my car. I reached down inside my pocket of my purse to get my keys out, and apparently I knocked my glasses off the top of my purse onto the ground, and I didn't realize it. When I got in the car, I went to put my glasses on, and I realized that they weren't there, and lo and behold, I got out looking for my glasses, couldn't find them, and I went to go around, and I saw them about the time a truck ran over my glasses. So, I had destroyed glasses. So, I hurried home and I worried about it all day long. And, I figured I can't do too much about what happened. It was my accident. I was dizzy. I shouldn't have went to the store, but I wanted to cook a home cooked meal for my family that night. So I went anyways. And I'm crocheting, by the way, guys. I'm making a purse. This is one side of the purse. Or a handbag, whatever you want to call it. A little bag, crochet bag. Anyways, I got home. And after feeling really stupid and dumb for losing my glasses, I started supper and I got supper cooked. And it was worth it because my family really appreciated that home cooked meal. I called the next day to America's Best, and I did have insurance on my glasses, and so they're replacing them. The frames to my glasses were discontinued, so she didn't know if she could get the same frame, so I had to wait until Friday, and I went in yesterday and picked out a new set of frames just in case they can't find my old frames anywhere. So, it looks to me like I'll have a new pair of glasses sometime in the next week. But until then, I had to work on my computer today, and yesterday. So I had to pull out these. The nearsighted part of my frames have changed, so I need a stronger prescription. So these get kind of blurry sometimes whenever I'm looking through them. The, what is it called? Long distance vision actually improved. So the new prescription is less on the top. These are called graduating bifocals, by the way, guys. So they're no line, and then graduate. So that's what I'm getting. And so I'll have my new glasses sometime in a week or so. 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Okay. Anyways, I'm sorry about that, guys. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss a stitch. We don't do Thanksgiving because we are Jehovah's Witnesses and we do not do holidays. So my family just spent a nice day at home. My son had a Bible reading in our Kingdom Hall meeting Thursday night, and so we kind of just stayed at home and took it easy. And my crew went to the Kingdom Hall for the meeting, and I stayed home and watched it via Zoom because I am in I'm going to say mild flare because I am 3 weeks late on my treatment, guys. Remember, I was supposed to have my treatment on November the 6th, and I ended up with an upper respiratory, kind of like allergies, sinus drainage, allergies, ended up with bronchitis. So I put my treatment off from the 6th, and then I was supposed to take it on the 20th, and it was going to be really, really cold and wet and raining. And here I was, I still wasn't completely over this stuff. So I rescheduled it, and it's for Tuesday. So I'm going to go in on Tuesday. So Thursday night, I stayed home and I watched, I attended our meeting via Zoom, which we were so fortunate to be able to start during COVID so that we did not miss our meetings. Our spiritual food is so important along with our physical food. So Thursday night, I stayed at home by myself and attended our meeting via Zoom while my hubby and our 2 teens went to the Kingdom Hall and attended the meeting in person, which was beautiful. Then yesterday, I worked a little bit, worked on payroll, worked on getting some things in the mail for some clients, and then I just kind of took it easy yesterday. I crocheted and just kind of rested a lot, and that's what I've been doing today too. Today I'm home alone. My crew is out doing their thing today with my husband's mom, and I'm home alone. I have been home alone since around noon. So I took the doggies out and let them do their thing and brought the males back in and put them in the kennel because one of our little puppies our little female is in heat for her first heat. So I have to put the males and keep them separate from her. They won't leave her alone. And so I put the males in the kennel, and then I took her and Mama out. And while I had those 2 out, I went and I fed our chickens. And got some feed to put up on the deck for the mama and the 5 little chickens. They're not too little anymore. They're starting to get pretty big. But she still brings them up here on the deck to keep them safe from the coyotes and the dogs and everything in the neighborhood. Possums and things that come up and out from around the neighborhood. So I've gotten that done. And I'm just sitting here trying to do some content for my channel for you guys. I appreciate all of my new followers. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you for sharing. As we know, my channel is all about lupus awareness, cancer awareness, and living beyond diagnosis and treatments. Remembering to live our lives and not let our diseases keep us from living. Because it's very easy to get depressed. It's very easy to get overwhelmed from a disease or an illness. And really honestly stop living. And I have to say I've been guilty of that several times in the past almost 21 years that I've been diagnosed with lupus, 21 and a half. I was diagnosed with lupus in July of 2002. My honey had surprisingly given me a vacation back to Washington State to see my friends that I missed. Whenever I had an extra day off from work that week. Shh! Hush, puppies! And so he had given me a 5-day vacation, I think. We left from here on Thursday night, and we got to Washington Thursday night. Stayed there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Monday night we drove home. So we were there Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, 5-day trip there and back. And so I had went to work on Tuesday morning when we landed here at the airport. I drove my honey home, dropped off our baggage and him, and I drove into work, and I worked all day. And driving home from work that night, I felt horrible. My feet were so swollen I couldn't put my shoes on. I couldn't even put on my slippers. So I got home, got in bed, and the next day I couldn't get out of bed. So my husband made an appointment for me to go to the doctor, and he took me, and the doctor looked at me and told me how long had I had lupus. And I said, what? And she goes, yeah. How long have you had lupus? And I just looked at her again and I said, are you telling me I have lupus? She goes, what? You don't know? And I said, no, ma'am. I've never been diagnosed with lupus. And so she went over my medical history with me, and yeah, I had lupus. Wow, did my world ever change? But it was okay. I mean, she sent me to a really good doctor, and I appreciate him from the bottom of my heart. I'll never forget him. He was my doctor for 22 years, guys. And I hate it that medical insurances can dictate the medical field so much that I had to change doctors after 21 years. And it's been a struggle because I haven't always been able to keep my treatments going. I've had lapses in my treatment, which caused me to have bad flares over the last 3 years. But you know what? I'm finally doing okay. This is 10 months straight on treatment, and I'm doing pretty good. It's just I'm 3 weeks late this month. But it's okay. I'll still get my November and my December treatments in. So that's good. I won't miss a whole complete month. I'm just 3 weeks behind. And so I'm achy. The weather changing hasn't helped anything. We had rain. We were warm. Then we got rain. Then we got cold. And now we're going to have really cold again tonight, I guess. Tomorrow. by next Friday, we're supposed to be up in the mid-70s. So I don't know what's going on, guys. This silly weather is really silly this year. We had a super, super hot, super long summer, and it really got to me. But it's okay. I'm going to bounce back. I craft to decrease my stress, to keep me mentally and physically as active as possible. I do many crafts, but my favorites are always going to be crocheting, knitting, crocheting, cross-stitching, quilting, resin, and painting. But I've done others, so I've done a whole bunch. This is going to be a gift of love. This is going to be a bag for it's going to be a nice handbag for a lady who has been going through a battle, an unspoken battle. I'm not going to mention her battle because the niece that has requested it for her has told me that her aunt is a very private lady and that so I'm not going to share. I'm just going to say that this is going to be a gift of love to a very special lady. And she's very, very loved by her niece. So we're going to put all the love we can into this gift. I opened up or started Leona May Foundation's Gifts of Love after I outlived my mom in 2011. I had it marked on the calendar how many days my mom lived past her 47th birthday. And whenever I lived one day longer than my mom, I opened this foundation, and it's named Leona May Foundation. My mother's name was Leona May. When my mom had cancer and she took her chemo and her hair started falling out, I was making a baby bonnet, a little baby cap, to go with a dress and a pair of shoes I had made. I had left the dress at home and the little shoes, but I was working on the bonnet the week I went to my mom's. And my mom said that it's too bad you don't make those in my size, because me losing my hair, I could probably use one. And I started one for my mom. And that was in September that I had seen her. So the first week in October, I started a hat for my mom. And not the first week, it was like the second week, I want to say. And the third week, my dad told me that my mom was dying for me to come home. So I put the hat down. When I got home after burying my mom, I put it up in a box and just couldn't touch it. And it was my very own pattern that I was coming up with for an adult. Resembled a baby cap, baby hat. It was a cute little hat. And I had made it in pinks. And a friend of mine got breast cancer a year later. So I pulled the hat out and I finished it and I gave it to her when she went through chemo. And I never thought about it after that for a while. But then, when I outlived my mom, I thought, I haven't been crafting because of me losing everything in my house fire. And I'm going to start, and I'm going to do what I love to do. I'm going to make gifts of love and give them away. And so that's what I started doing. And then I had people who would see my hats and they would say, well, how much would you charge for this, Mr. Ray? How much would you charge for that? I want a scarf. I want this. I want that. So I started selling my work again in order to be able to buy the patterns, buy the yarns to get started again at what I do best, making gifts of love. So that's how I got started, and now I have an abundant amount of yarn stocked up, or what we crocheters all call our yarn stashes. I have a big yarn stash in my back office room, and I have some patterns, books, still. Not as many as I did when I lost them in my fire, but I do have quite a few now. And this hook that I'm using is one of my newest ones that I just bought from Temu. And I like how it has this flat side right here for my thumb grip and a rounded side for this. It's not hurting my hand to crochet as much as regular crochet hooks do. So I really like these. They were very inexpensive, and it came, I think, in a set of 8. I can't remember right off the top of my hand. But I'm using this one, and this one's a 6mm, and I'm using a 5mm for the shawl that I'm working. That's also a gift of love. And I think that I did a video with it the other day in here. And this is how far I've gotten on it. As you can see, I've gotten quite a ways. It's this wide. And so far I have it at 58, 59 rows into that. And I'm using a size 5 needle on that. And here's the difference in the sizes of the yarns, guys. You can see the difference in the size of the yarns. This one is using a 6mm, and this one is using a 5mm hook. So those are my 2 projects of love that I'm working on. And I've got my charms that finally came in for my resin pieces that I'm going to be doing. I got some little metallic, I wouldn't call them halogenic, but is that what it's called? Guys, I hate fibromyalgia and lupus brain fogs. When it shows the prism of the rainbow prism in it, it's called halogen. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, I can't remember how to say it. But it's going to throw off like different colors, color changing, shifting. The little turtles that I'm going to put inside my seascapes. So I got those. Finally, I found them and I ordered them. So I'm going to be working on setting up my resin desk so that I can start doing my resin again next week. Whenever the warmer weather comes, by next Friday, I want to have my desk set up to do resin when it's warm next Friday. So I'm going to be pouring some resin, and I'll be videoing that too next week. Trying to think of what else I want to do this next week. Some of you guys know that my stove busted, like literally something in the top of my stove exploded just seconds before my brother stopped breathing, the day he died. And we were cooking supper, and I don't know what happened, but the oven was just, it was shot, and I shouldn't have been using the oven. Something happened with one of the elements. The the clasp that holds your elements up broke, and it popped and it touched something it shouldn't have touched and threw a spark out. And so my oven stopped working, my stove stopped working. And so I haven't had a stove since the day my brother passed away. And we've been doing cooking in slow cookers, on a griddle, on the barbecue pit, and onto propane burner cookers that we've had outside, like for making crab boils and for we use them for making tamales on and things like that. So anyways, we've been using those burners for everything, and it was getting tiring. So my husband surprised us yesterday. He went to go and take his mama to go get a washer and dryer, and he bought us a new stove too while he was at it. So they're going to be putting our new stove in tomorrow. And so that's something that I'm so grateful for, that blessing, that my honey got to go get that yesterday. And so we'll be able to make good meals and good treats. I've been wanting a pecan pie and a pumpkin pie. So I'll be able to make those now. I'd rather have homemade sweets than store-bought, because store-bought, you don't know, you can't control what kinds of sugars and flours they use. You cannot control how much sugars are in store-bought stuff. And if it's homemade, then you can make sure that it's got the gooder, better ingredients, better quality, lower sugar, no preservatives, and just overall better food. And that's what I really miss. Because of my hiatal hernia, I'm still trying to lose weight. And whenever I got really, really sick about a week and a half ago, I was very nauseous. So my honey went and bought me a 7-Up, and I gained a couple of my pounds back, but I'm still losing. I'm not gaining and gaining, so I'm glad of that. I am hoping to lose another 5 to 10 pounds by the end of this year. That would be nice. And then next year, just really working super hard on losing all that weight. I do a method called intermittent fasting on most days. Every once in a while, it's not quite a long window between my last meal and my first meal. But most days I don't start eating until about 10 o'clock. And I try to finish eating by 7 or 8 at the latest every night. Every once in a while, I'll get a snack. I take medicine, so sometimes the medicine kind of makes me sick if I don't eat something with it. So every once in a while, I'll take a snack. And I've been steadily losing a little bit here and a little bit there. I am losing inches and building up muscle mass. So it's not a great big, steady, big loss. It's very little losses, but at least I'm not gaining. And that's what's the most important thing. So I'd rather have a very slow, steady drop in my weight than to have a significant large loss and then it all come back later. So I'm doing it the right way, guys. And I promise that I am eating sufficient amounts of food. I just can't eat big, large meals at a time. And, or I would be doing the really big salad that Miss Amanda Rose has on hers. on her website, Eat Like a Bear, because I really do like that concept. But I just can't. With my hiatal hernia and the problem that it causes my heart when I eat too much at one time, I cannot eat very large meals at a time. So I have to eat small salads. And our local grocery store here in Texas has a little chef salad, and I go and I buy those. Those are pretty reasonably priced, so I can afford those. And it has the lettuce, and it has some cheese and ham and some turkey and ranch dressing. Just enough ranch dressing just for that salad, and it's good. And those are really good and tasty. Put a little bit of sea salt on them, and that's what I eat. And I can eat 1 or 2 of those a day, depending on if I eat breakfast or not. And if we're going to have a supper here with me and all the family together. And, but if it's just me, there's a lot of times when I eat just 2 of those salads in a day and call it a day. I appreciate the fact that I have new followers, and I'm trying to get to 70 followers, hopefully soon. And then I also have my TikTok that I do, and I'm not that active on it that much like I am on here. But guys, I will be more active. I am hoping to get my treatment on Tuesday and feel a little bit better, and be videoing by Friday some crafting, some resin crafts. I'm going to make some jewelry. I'm going to make some keychains. I'm going to start working on class of 2024 stuff as soon as I get those molds in. I am really looking forward to getting back on track and getting more of my videos done for you guys every day, every week. So, thanks again. You guys have a great day. Don't forget to tell everybody that you love them. It's really important. We're not promised tomorrow, guys. And take care of yourself. If you don't feel good, you're battling an illness, just remember you're not alone. And remember to always do something each and every day that brings joy into your life, that decreases the stress in your life. Something to just sit back and stop and say, I matter. Because you do. Each and every one of you matters. And it's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be angry. Because I know I've been angry. Especially after my strokes that I had. Because I had uncontrollable lupus flare. And it was what it was. I have a lot to share with people. Sometimes I don't remember exactly what I want to share with you when I want to share it. But I try. So if there's something that you guys want to ask about lupus, about what it's like to live with lupus, what it's like to be treated for lupus, what it's like to have a stroke at a young age. I was young, guys. I was only 40 years old when I had my first stroke. So, it's not easy to live with having a stroke, but you can do it. I had to quit crocheting for a minute, guys, because I got a burn on my hand right here. In this part, I know maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. But this part of my hand was burnt with some hot coffee yesterday. Right there you can see it really good, really red. So I had to stop crocheting for a minute. let my hand rest because that part of my hand hurts when I use it too much. But I just want to thank you all for watching my videos and for commenting. I cannot wait until this spring. This spring is going to be a lot different than this last year, because in this spring we're going to do our gardens. We're going to do the flower beds. We're going to do the vegetable garden. We are going to do magnet fishing, guys. And we're going to go real fishing. And we're going to have a lot to look forward to this next spring. This last year, my life was dedicated to taking care of my brother, as most of you know. My brother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in July on my birthday of 2022, and he died on August the 30th of this year. So he fought a long, hard battle for 13 long months, and I miss him, guys. I really miss my brother. I was going and taking him back and forth from January whenever I started getting more strength back, because last September and October a year ago was whenever I was having all the problems with my heart every time I ate, and I wasn't eating, and I was very, very weak, and I ended up in the hospital in September and in October, and then I ended up with upper respiratory infection and bronchitis. And that's when my brother called me and told me, could I please go and be with him at the hospital? And I did. And the first time I laid eyes on him, all I could do was cry, because he had lost so much weight already. But I didn't realize how much more he could lose over this last 8 months of his life. I mean, he lost so much more, guys. In January, he was almost 140 pounds still. But by the time he passed away in August, he was down to like barely 80 to 85 pounds. And that wasn't my brother. My brother was always a big, strong man. And he told me we'd go fishing. He told me we'd go play pool. We didn't get to do those things before he passed away. So I miss him. I miss him a lot. I wasn't going to cry in this video, so I'm not going to. I wanted to tell you guys that I'm finally feeling better. I'm just tired, and I am in a mild lupus flare. You can see like the butterfly rash on my nose and my cheeks. But I haven't gotten the ultrasound on my thyroid yet. I'm going to go do that on December 4th, because I had that, and my infusion had been rescheduled for the 20th, and I ended up putting it off because I still wasn't over the coughing from the bronchitis. So I put it off until this coming week. And so I'm glad I did, because I feel a lot better, guys. You guys have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you sometime this week. Bye, everybody. Thanks again.